Elon Musk was standing on stage at a Tesla event, addressing a large crowd of engineers, investors, and fans. He was talking about Tesla's latest advancements, including how their new AI technology could revolutionize the automobile industry. The room buzzed with excitement, erupting into applause and cheers with each new revelation. After his presentation, Elon stepped back, smiled at the crowd, and said, "Let's take some questions." The room quieted as people raised their hands, hoping to be selected. Elon pointed toward the back of the hall where a young woman stood up. Unlike the usual tech enthusiasts dressed in suits or branded t-shirts, she wore simple clothes and clutched a notebook. Her voice was steady but filled with determination. "Mr. Musk," she began, "my name is Amara. I'm 19 years old and come from a small town. I've built a robot in my garage using scrap parts. I don't have a college degree or formal training, but I want to work at Tesla. Will you give me a job?" The room froze. No one had expected such a bold question. Some audience members whispered among themselves, others chuckled. A young woman with no degree or professional experience asking for a job directly from Elon Musk, it seemed audacious. Elon raised an eyebrow, clearly intrigued. Tilting his head slightly, he asked, "A robot, what does it do?" Amara smiled nervously. "Right now, it can pick up objects and perform simple tasks, but I know I can make it better with the right resources." The audience leaned in, waiting for Elon's response. Some thought he would dismiss her outright, while others anticipated a polite deflection. But Elon Musk was not like most people. Leaning forward, his voice calm yet challenging, he said, "You built this in your garage?" "Yes," Amara replied, nodding. Elon paused for a moment before saying, "All right, here's the deal. If you can improve your robot to solve a real-world problem and show me something impressive, I'll consider giving you a job." The crowd gasped. Was he serious? Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO of Tesla and SpaceX, had just thrown down a challenge to a teenager. Amara's face lit up with determination. "Challenge accepted, Mr. Musk," she said, sitting down as the audience murmured in anticipation. Some were inspired by her courage, others doubted she could succeed. But one thing was certain: everyone wanted to know what would happen next. After the event, Amara returned to her small town, buzzing with excitement. The moment replayed in her mind over and over. This was her chance to change her life. Amara lived in a modest neighborhood where everyone knew each other. Her house was small but cozy, with a garage that doubled as her workshop. Inside, an old wooden table was strewn with tools, wires, and parts salvaged from junkyards. Shelves lined the walls, packed with scrap metal, old motors, and batteries. This humble space was where her dreams took shape. Her robot, the one she had proudly described to Elon Musk, sat in the corner. It was far from perfect, capable only of picking up small objects and following basic commands. She knew it needed to be much more impressive to stand a chance. Amara's family struggled to make ends meet. Her mother worked as a nurse, and her father drove a taxi. They supported her as much as they could, but money was always tight. Amara had taught herself everything she knew about robotics through YouTube tutorials and free online resources. Growing up, people often mocked her obsession with junk, urging her to focus on getting a real job. But Amara was undeterred. This challenge from Elon Musk was her chance to prove everyone wrong. Elon had given her 30 days to upgrade her robot. Amara knew she needed to solve a real-world problem, but she had no idea where to start. After days of research and brainstorming, she found her mission: creating a robot to sort and recycle trash. Her community struggled with waste management, with trash often piling up in the streets due to improper sorting. If her robot could tackle this issue, it would not only impress Elon but also help her neighbors. Amara threw herself into the project. Without money for expensive parts, she scavenged junkyards for old electronics. Some days, she came back with valuable components, other days, she returned empty-handed. She also had to learn advanced coding to make her robot smarter, spending countless hours on online tutorials and forums. When her code failed, she felt frustrated, but Elon's words "show me something impressive" kept her going. Her neighbors noticed her long hours in the garage. Some mocked her efforts, saying, "Do you really think Elon Musk cares about someone from here?" Others urged her to focus on practical work. Even her friends expressed doubts. But Amara had something they lacked: a vision and an unyielding drive. One day, an elderly man named Mr. Harris knocked on her garage door. A retired engineer, he had heard about her project and offered to help. With his guidance, Amara optimized the robot's motors and tackled complex coding problems. Slowly but surely, her robot began to take shape. As the deadline approached, Amara worked tirelessly. Sleepless nights were spent testing and fixing errors. Finally, 3 days before the presentation, her robot successfully sorted trash into recyclables, non-recyclables, and organic waste during a test run. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. The big day arrived. Amara packed her robot carefully and headed to Tesla's headquarters. Standing on stage, she felt out of place among the polished professionals. But when she saw Elon Musk in the front row, watching intently, she took a deep breath and began her presentation. "Good afternoon," she said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "3 weeks ago, I stood here and told Mr. Musk about a robot I built in my garage. He challenged me to make it solve a real-world problem. Today, I'm here to show you what I've created." She set up her robot and a pile of trash on the demonstration table. The robot came to life, scanning items and sorting them into bins. The audience watched in silence. When the last item was sorted, the room erupted in applause. But just as Amara breathed a sigh of relief, the robot made a loud clicking noise and froze. The applause stopped. Her heart sank. Elon Musk stood up and walked toward the stage. "Do you know what caused the problem?" he asked. "Yes," Amara replied, swallowing her fear. "The motor overheated." Elon handed her a tool and said, "Fix it." With trembling hands, Amara replaced the motor and recalibrated the robot. 10 tense minutes later, it was ready. She restarted it, and this time, it worked flawlessly, completing the task faster than before. The audience erupted into cheers. Elon clapped and said, "That's what I like to see, someone who doesn't give up when things go wrong." Turning to the audience, he added, "Amara has proven that innovation doesn't require fancy labs or degrees. It requires passion and determination." Then, looking back at her, he said, "You've earned your place at Tesla. More than that, I want to help you develop this robot into something that can change the world." Tears welled up in Amara's eyes as the audience gave her a standing ovation. She had done it. This was just the beginning of her journey to make a difference.